Have you ever wondered if something as simple as taking a daily walk could dramatically change how you feel after turning 60? So many people assume that staying healthy later in life requires complicated routines or expensive treatments. But the truth is that small, consistent actions can make the biggest difference. In today's conversation, we're going to explore two science-backed habits that doctors and researchers are talking about right now. Walking around 7,000 steps each day and adding a handful of nuts to your diet. Both of these habits are easy to adopt, cost very little, and are shown to lower the risks of heart disease, cancer, and memory loss. We'll talk about why these actions matter, how to work them into your daily routine, and share some warm stories from people just like you who found joy and health through simple, mindful changes. Whether you're an active grandparent looking to keep up with energetic grandchildren or someone who wants to feel steadier and more focused, there's something here for everyone. Let's start by taking a gentle look at what those numbers really mean and how you can use them as inspiration rather than intimidation. Get comfortable, grab a glass of water or a cup of tea, and imagine the steps you'll soon be taking toward a healthier, happier you. Together, we'll discover that well-being doesn't have to be complicated or overwhelming. It starts with a single step and a friendly voice guiding you along every day, today, always. Let's begin with the simple act of walking. You might be thinking, I already move in the house, so why count steps? Recent studies have shown that aiming for about 7,000 steps a day, roughly 3.5 miles, can make a huge difference in your health. Researchers looked at more than 160,000 adults and found that those who walked this amount had lower rates of heart attacks, strokes, diabetes, depression, and even some cancers. What's more, they discovered that you don't need to march quickly or jog to see benefits. Gentle walking at your own comfortable pace still matters. The idea is to keep your body moving and your blood flowing, delivering oxygen and nutrients to your heart, brain, and muscles. A dear friend of mine, Frank, began tracking his steps when his doctor suggested it during a routine appointment. He was in his late 60s, a little skeptical at first, but decided to give it a try. Frank started with short strolls down the block, enjoyed the fresh air and sunlight, and gradually increased his distance. In a few weeks, he noticed that he felt more energetic in the morning and slept better at night. He shared that his moods improved, and his doctor was pleased to see his blood pressure come down. This small, consistent habit became a cornerstone of his day and inspired his family to join him on weekend walks, turning exercise into a cherished family tradition. Now that we've seen the power of daily movement, let's talk about how to make those steps feel doable and enjoyable. 7,000 might sound like a big number, but if you spread your walking throughout the day, it becomes much more manageable. Start with a 5 or 10-minute walk in the morning to wake up your muscles and joints. Later, take a stroll to the corner store or around your garden after lunch. In the evening, walk with a friend or family member or circle the living room during commercial breaks. Consider investing in a comfortable pair of walking shoes that support your ankles and cushioning for your feet. This makes a big difference when you're walking on varied surfaces. If you use a cane or walker, that's perfectly fine. Move at a pace that feels safe and steady for your body. Some people enjoy using a pedometer or the step counter on their phone to keep track and celebrate milestones. Others prefer to focus on the time spent moving rather than the exact count. You can also combine walking with daily errands, like going to the market, visiting a neighbor, or bringing the mail to the post box. If stairs are challenging, look for flat paths in parks or malls where benches offer resting points. Remember to stay hydrated, wear a hat in sunny weather, and listen to your body. Making walking a natural part of your routine turns exercise into a pleasant ritual rather than a chore. You might be curious about why researchers focus on step counts rather than gym workouts or strenuous exercise. Part of the reason is that steps are easy to measure and adapt to any lifestyle. A recent report from national health agencies looked at physical activity in more than 80,000 older adults. They found that people who moved more throughout the day had lower rates of several cancers compared with those who spent much of their time sitting. Stories often make information feel more real. So I'd like to introduce you to Mary, a retired teacher who lives in a suburb. For years, Mary believed that exercise meant sweating at a gym, something she didn't enjoy. When her niece gave her a step counter as a gift, she was hesitant but decided to give it a try. Mary started by walking with her neighbor around the block once in the morning. They chatted about their gardens and shared recipes as they strolled. Soon she found that she looked forward to these walks not just for the movement, but for the companionship. Within a month, Mary noticed she could climb the stairs more easily and felt less out of breath when playing with her grandchildren. At her next checkup, her doctor smiled when he saw her blood pressure numbers improving. Encouraged, Mary extended her route to include the local park where she could listen to birds and wave to familiar faces. On weekends, her son joined her, turning their time together into a cherished ritual. Through steady walking, Mary discovered a sense of accomplishment and independence she hadn't felt in years. If you're inspired by Mary's experience and ready to give this habit a try, there are some simple tools and strategies that can help you stay on track. Many phones come with built-in step counters that run quietly in the background and record your movement throughout the day. If you don't use a smartphone, inexpensive pedometers clip to your belt or slip into a pocket and provide an accurate count. Seeing your daily total can be motivating. But remember that the numbers are there to encourage you, not to create pressure. Some people like to set gentle reminders on their devices to stand up and stretch every hour. Others prefer to plan walks with friends, neighbors, or a partner, turning the activity into a social event. Walking with a companion adds joy and accountability. Conversation makes the time pass quickly, and laughter strengthens bonds. When you walk, wear cushioned shoes and, if needed, braces or support for your knees or ankles. If you have any concerns about your joints or balance, talk to your doctor or physical therapist for guidance. Listen to your body. If you feel pain or dizziness, pause and rest. Carry a water bottle, especially during warm weather, and choose shaded paths when the sun is high. Don't forget to stretch your legs and back when you return home. Stretches help prevent stiffness and improve flexibility. By approaching walking as a friendly practice rather than a chore, you create a rhythm that nourishes your body and spirit. While walking keeps your heart and muscles strong, you might be wondering what you can do to support your mind. One dietary change has been drawing attention from doctors and nutritionists: enjoying a handful of nuts each day. A recent study that followed 50,000 adults for several years found that people who ate nuts every day had a 12% lower risk of developing dementia compared to those who rarely included nuts in their diet. When participants ate around 30 grams a day, roughly a small palmful, the benefit increased to 16%, and choosing unsalted varieties bumped it to 17%. Nuts like almonds, walnuts, pistachios, and pecans are rich in healthy fats, antioxidants, and fiber, nutrients that nourish both the brain and the gut. Researchers believe these compounds help reduce inflammation, improve blood flow to the brain, and support the trillions of microbes living in our digestive tract, which in turn affect mood and cognition. So, by adding a snack to your routine, you're giving your brain a natural boost. Think of nuts as a delicious bridge between nourishing your body and keeping your mind sharp. They are easy to store, require no preparation, and can be enjoyed on their own or sprinkled gently over cereal, yogurt, or salads. As with any food, moderation is key. The goal is to complement your diet, not to replace balanced meals. In the next section, we'll explore how to choose, prepare, and enjoy nuts in ways that fit seamlessly into your lifestyle. To make this idea more personal, let me tell you about Sam, a retired engineer who always loved sweets with his afternoon tea. When he heard that nuts could help keep his mind sharp, he decided to swap his usual cookies for a small mix of almonds and walnuts. At first, he was unsure whether the change would satisfy his sweet tooth, but he gave himself a few weeks to adjust. After a month, Sam discovered that he enjoyed the satisfying crunch and flavors of nuts, and he no longer felt the sugar crashes he used to experience. He started experimenting with different varieties, adding pistachios, pecans, and cashews to his mix. When his daughter baked granola at home, they tossed in a handful of chopped nuts, giving the cereal a rich texture and warm roasted aroma. Sam also sprinkled nuts over his morning oatmeal, finding that the combination kept him feeling full until lunchtime. He discovered that he could keep small packets of nuts in his car, which prevented him from reaching for candy bars when running errands. What began as a simple snack quickly became a beloved part of his daily routine. His doctor noted that his cholesterol levels improved, and Sam felt proud that a minor change had such positive effects. Sam's experience shows that incorporating nuts doesn't have to be complicated. With a bit of curiosity and willingness to try new flavors, this habit can become an enjoyable way to support your brain and overall well-being. When adding nuts to your diet, a few practical considerations will help you enjoy them safely and effectively. First, pay attention to portion size. 30 grams is roughly a small handful or about 2 tablespoons of nut pieces. Measuring your portions helps prevent overeating, as nuts are calorie-dense. Second, choose unsalted or lightly salted varieties. Excess salt can raise blood pressure and retain fluid, whereas plain nuts allow you to appreciate the natural taste and health benefits. Enhance flavor by lightly toasting nuts in a dry pan for a few minutes, which brings out their oils without adding extra ingredients. Third, be mindful of allergies. If you or someone in your household has a nut allergy, consult a healthcare provider before introducing nuts into meals. Seeds like pumpkin or sunflower offer similar nutrients and can be an alternative in some cases. Fourth, incorporate nuts into meals rather than relying on them as an exclusive snack. Sprinkle chopped nuts onto salads, mix them into yogurt or rice dishes, or blend them into smoothies. When combined with fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and lean proteins, nuts contribute to a balanced diet that supports heart and brain health. Lastly, store nuts in airtight containers away from heat and light to preserve their oils and prevent rancidity. Refrigeration or freezing extends freshness, especially in humid climates. By following these guidelines, you can enjoy the benefits of nuts while maintaining variety and moderation, making them a supportive ally in your journey toward better health and vitality. Beyond walking and nuts, research from Harvard and other institutions shows that overall lifestyle patterns play a key role in maintaining brain health. A Mediterranean-style diet rich in leafy greens, berries, olive oil, beans, and fish provides a wide range of antioxidants and healthy fats that reduce inflammation and support cognitive function. This way of eating often incorporates nuts and seeds, making it easy to blend our two focus habits into a broad nutrition plan. Keeping blood pressure, blood sugar, and cholesterol in healthy ranges is another vital part of protecting both your heart and your brain. High blood pressure and diabetes can damage the small vessels that supply blood to memory-related areas of the brain, so managing these conditions through diet, movement, and medication when needed helps preserve cognitive function. Getting enough sleep, staying hydrated, and limiting alcohol are additional lifestyle factors that support memory and mood. Social connections also matter. Regularly spending time with friends, family, or community groups reduces stress and boosts feelings of purpose. Mental stimulation, reading, puzzles, learning new skills, or hobbies keeps your mind active and encourages new neural connections. When combined with physical activity and nutritious food, these habits form a protective web that helps ward off chronic disease. The beauty of this approach is that you can start by adding 1 or 2 elements and gradually build more into your routine as they become comfortable. You don't have to do everything at once. Small, steady changes create lasting results. Consult your doctor for guidance. Let's bring these ideas together through the experience of Helen and George, a couple in their 70s who decided to make some changes after George's routine checkup showed elevated cholesterol levels. They joined a local walking club that met 3 mornings a week at a park. At first, they were worried about keeping up, but they soon found that the club welcomed all paces and they could chat with new friends while moving at a comfortable speed. Inspired by the camaraderie, they started walking on their own on days when the club didn't meet. Meanwhile, Helen began to explore recipes featuring Mediterranean ingredients. She discovered that tossing tomatoes, cucumbers, and leafy greens with olive oil and a sprinkle of feta made a salad. She added chopped walnuts for crunch and realized the nuts helped her feel full longer. Together, Helen and George experimented with grilled fish seasoned with herbs, beans simmered in garlic, and oats topped with berries and almonds for breakfast. They found joy in cooking together, tasting new flavors, and planning meals that aligned with their health goals. After a few months, George's blood tests improved and felt more energetic. They looked forward to their walks not just for exercise, but for the laughter and stories shared with friends. Their journey shows how combining movement, nourishing food, and social interaction can transform daily life into a source of strength and happiness. It's never too late to start, and every small change you make contributes to a healthier future. Another important part of caring for yourself involves paying attention to your numbers, your blood pressure, blood sugar, cholesterol, and weight. Many chronic diseases develop slowly over time, often without obvious symptoms. So regular check-ups give you and your healthcare provider the chance to catch problems early. Make appointments for routine screenings and bring any questions you have about diet, exercise, or medications. If your blood pressure is high, your doctor may recommend limiting salt, increasing potassium-rich foods like bananas and leafy greens, and incorporating gentle activity, such as walking. If your blood sugar is elevated, balancing carbohydrates with protein and fiber can help keep your energy stable. Keeping cholesterol in check involves choosing lean proteins, increasing soluble fiber found in oats and beans, and limiting saturated fat. Quitting tobacco is one of the most powerful steps you can take. Smoking harms blood vessels and increases the risk of heart attack and stroke. If you drink alcohol, keep it moderate, perhaps a glass of wine with dinner on occasion, so your liver and brain have time to rest. Staying hydrated by sipping water or herbal tea throughout the day helps your kidneys and brain function well. And don't forget about rest. Giving yourself 7 to 9 hours of sleep each night allows your body to repair tissues and consolidate memories. By monitoring these factors and working closely with your healthcare team, you build a strong foundation for long-term wellness and peace of mind. Keeping a log helps you notice patterns over time. Caring for your mind involves more than food and movement. It also means keeping your brain engaged and connected. Think of your brain as a muscle that thrives on variety and challenge. Puzzles, card games, reading, painting, knitting, or learning a new language all stimulate different areas of the brain and strengthen neural pathways. For example, a neighbor of mine, Ruth, decided to take up watercolor painting after retiring. She found a class at the local community center and discovered not only the joy of mixing colors, but also the pleasure of meeting people who shared her curiosity. Over time, Ruth noticed that her concentration improved, and she gained confidence in her ability to learn something new. Another friend joined a choir and felt energized by singing in harmony. Memorizing lyrics exercised his memory, and rehearsals provided a weekly social outing. Social connections are vital because they reduce stress hormones and provide emotional support. Truly try calling a friend for a chat, joining a book club, or volunteering at a local school or library. These activities build a sense of purpose and belonging, which are particularly important as we age. Remember to choose hobbies and social opportunities that genuinely interest you. You're more likely to stick with them if they bring you satisfaction. Mixing mental stimulation with physical activity and nutritious food creates a holistic approach that nourishes every part of you. It's never too late to learn, laugh, and connect, and the benefits extend far beyond the activity itself. As we draw our conversation together, it's helpful to reflect on how these different pieces fit. Moving your body through gentle walking nourishes your heart, lungs, and muscles, while also lowering the risk of serious illnesses. Adding a handful of nuts provides your brain and gut with healthy fats and antioxidants that support memory and mood. Choosing a Mediterranean-inspired diet, managing blood pressure, blood sugar, and cholesterol, staying hydrated, sleeping well, and avoiding tobacco and excess alcohol create a foundation for overall health. Engaging your mind with hobbies and staying connected to others keeps you mentally agile and emotionally fulfilled. No single habit works in isolation. They reinforce one another, like threads weaving a strong fabric. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. Begin by picking one or two of the ideas that resonate with you. Maybe you'll start by tracking your steps or replacing a sugary snack with a nut mix. Celebrate your progress along the way, no matter how small it seems. If you miss a day, simply begin again the next morning. Over time, these modest choices add up to meaningful change. When you feel ready, invite a friend or family member to join you. Shared goals make the journey more enjoyable and help both of you stay motivated. Remember that health isn't a destination, but a daily practice, and you have the power to guide your own path with kindness and patience. Your body and mind will thank you with energy and clarity every day. Thank you for joining me on this journey through simple habits that could transform your health and well-being. We've explored how walking about 7,000 steps a day can reduce the risk of heart disease, cancer, and memory decline, and how a small handful of nuts can nourish your brain and support a healthy gut. We've talked about embracing a Mediterranean-style diet, managing blood pressure, blood sugar, and cholesterol, and staying mindful of sleep, hydration, and moderation. We've seen how mental stimulation and social connections enrich our lives and keep our minds sharp. All of these habits are connected and accessible, no matter your starting point.